Okay, guys, so I just retwisted my hair, so I'm doing a little bit of shrinkage. I don't know what's happening. As some of you guys know, this is not my first set of vlogs. This actually my second set, but this is the set that I actually started on my own. So the journey's a little bit different because my first set, they were instant locks, and so I have to go through the stages of like waiting for them to load and all that. But yeah, anyway, update on my hair. But I wanted to get on here and finish the second part to the other video. I don't know yet what I want to title it. I actually did finish the video, but it cut off like right in the middle. And so I'm just recording the second part to it. My lips are always dry around like the edges. Oh my gosh. And I hate like putting stuff on my skin. Okay, so anyway, I need to figure out. Oh, my red lips are coming back though. They're making a comeback. Anyway, guys, as you can see, like I am just vibing with the vibes. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, so the second part of the video is me talking about my mental health and how much of a struggle it's always been, and how I tend to catastrophize and just be paranoid and let my anxiety run rampant. So yeah, one of the things that I tend to do, like let's say that I lost my keys or whatever, and I'm headed out the door, I'm trying to find my keys. Sometimes my first instinct is, did somebody take my keys? Who was here the last time? Like, you know, if I invited like a friend over or whatever, my mind automatically goes to, did they take my keys? Did they hide them? Did they, something happened by mistake? Like, it's always this like trauma response going back to like my childhood, being bullied and having people, do certain things to me and say certain things to me. It's like, it always comes back. But now, like, I have found a couple strategies that work for me. And so what I want to do is share them with you guys. So let's say like something like that happens, like I lose my keys. I think of two other scenarios that it could be. The first scenario obviously is somebody stole them, right? But then I start thinking of like other scenarios. It doesn't have to be two, because sometimes just the first, like I think of another scenario that it could be. Okay, somebody stole it. You can't do nothing about that. But what if you just lost it? What if you just misplaced it? What if you just put it in a different spot than where you normally put it? So then I start backtracking my actions. Okay, when was the last time that I saw it? Okay, I obviously used it to get into the house, so it's here somewhere, right? I didn't lose it on the street, so it must be somewhere. And then half the time I find it in like the laundry basket, or I found my keys in the freezer one time. Like, it's just, yeah. So just kind of like working with myself and working through the things that I know that I struggle with have been the key. Like, even with that thing of like overthinking and letting my trauma responses overtake my logical mind. Whenever I have like an idea about something, I think about a couple other things that it could be, and that helps. Another thing that has been helping is breathing. So I've realized that a lot of the times I'm holding my breath. Like there will be several times throughout the day that I realize that I'm holding my breath. I'm not breathing. Like just now, I realized that I wasn't breathing, right? So that's something that I have been really like focused on. Another thing is getting up in the morning and reading something. The books that I'm currently reading are these: Mindfulness on the Go, How to Love, and my favorite classic, The Four Agreements. This will always be my go-to. Every time I open it up, I gain something new. Even though I've read it cover to cover a few times, even though every morning what I do is I'll like just open the book to a random page, each of these books, and read that page. And oh my God, like it must be that I'm dehydrated. I need to drink something. I need to drink some water. But yeah, just opening a random page and reading. I think this morning what I read about was listen like a sponge. That was in the, was it How to Love book or the Mindfulness on the Go? I think it was the Mindfulness on the Go. Mindfulness, that goes into realizing like realizing when I'm actually holding my breath. That's a trauma response that I didn't realize I was doing. And holding your breath, it's depriving your body of oxygen. Like there's so many components that go into that I didn't even realize I was doing it. I didn't even realize I was doing that to myself. So, just being more mindful, being more mindful. And so this was talking about listening like a sponge. So basically, when somebody's talking to you, rather than analyzing what they're saying and waiting to respond and thinking of what you're going to say when it's finally your turn to talk, or judging them or whatever it is that you do when somebody else is talking, just letting go of all of that and just listening, just sitting still and letting their words completely come into you, and feeling everything that they're saying, imagining as if you were saying what they were saying, what they are saying. And that's holding space. That's, that's it. That's being there for a person, right? And yeah, so that was the practice that we talked about, well, that I read about this morning. Let me see if I can remember the one about yesterday. What was yesterday's mindfulness practice? See, the fact that I can't remember it, I'm not going to judge myself on it, but it is something that I want to be mindful about, because that means that I didn't apply it. I didn't take it in. What was it? I think, it was about being completely present in a moment. That's what it was about. See, I did apply it. I was about to come down on myself. It was about being completely present in the moment. So, for example, if you're driving, only driving, like not taking videos and like what I do when I drive sometimes, or trying to do your makeup, or trying to eat, or trying to talk on the phone, or trying to whatever, just one thing at a time. If you're eating, you're just eating. If you're driving, you're just driving, and completely taking in the sights and the sounds and the smells and the everything around you, all the senses, all the stimuli, that was the word I was looking for, all the stimuli around you, and just being completely present in the moment. You'll be surprised, like the sounds you hear, the smells you smell. I'm sad that there are no birds chirping, but this morning there was like a rooster. You know how long it's been since I woke up with the roosters? Oh my God. That reminds me of like days in Jamaica, like summers in Jamaica, waking up to the roosters. Yeah, my hair is just, it's doing this thing. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I thought that like I was skipping through this phase, but clearly not. Because it had been like a month or two since I retwisted. My hair was like, like how you guys normally see it, longer. And so I thought that I was going to be able to, mosey on through. But my hair is like, no, ma'am. I don't know. Maybe it'll stretch back out. Or maybe this is just what we got going on. So yeah, just be mindful, guys. Being in the moment. Um, and then what was it that I read about in the How to Love? How to Love, it was talking about how if we grew up in a home where there was a lot of anger and there was a lot of um, violence, and violence doesn't necessarily have to be physical all the time. It could be emotional violence, it could be mental, verbal violence. However, like anything that just made you feel unsettled, made you feel uncomfortable, made you feel like your home wasn't a safe space for whatever reason. Um, all of that, we eventually turn into those people, basically, is what the book was saying. Um, and so I had to reflect on, like, because I'm like, no, like, my whole life I've been trying to fight to not be like the people that I grew up with, to not be like my family, to not be angry all the time. And that's really what this, as you guys kind of, if you watch the first part of this video, I'm like messing with my hair, but if you watch the first part of this video, you'll know that I ended up having to move, and so that's what I've been trying to do this whole time, run from that. If I was running from something, it was definitely turning into all the people from my childhood. Like, my childhood wasn't the worst thing, but it wasn't what I would want for my kids if I had any, right? So just trying to break that pattern, just trying to make sure that the generation that comes after me is not only financially better, or not only materialistically, there we go, materialistically better, but spiritually better, mentally better. And notice that I'm not saying stronger, because that word is starting to it's starting to really rub me the wrong way. We don't want to be strong. We're not raising strong kids. And maybe even better is not the right word, just more aware, more mindful, more mindful. The next generation is more mindful of what living in life really is about. Okay, and that's our responsibility. Like, this morning as I was making my bed, this thought came to me, and it was like, my mom really thinks, because she really believes in her mind that forcing me and my siblings to be hard workers and to have a good job and a stable income and all of that stuff, she really believes that that's her job as a parent, that that's what she's supposed to do, that that's the right way of doing things. She really believes that. She really and that's because that's what works for her. That's what worked for her generation. So, of course, it's going to, you know, she loves us. She wants the best for us. And to her, that's the best. And it was breaking my heart, because I was thinking, like, if she really knew what she was doing to us, she'd be ashamed. She wouldn't, she'd feel like a failure if she saw things from my perspective. And so then there's this other reality of where, like, but she doesn't see things from my perspective. So she's fine. Like, I don't have to be worried about, I don't have to, like, put my feelings, like, I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is, if I were her, if I were my own parent, right, I would be ashamed of some of the things that she's done and said to me, because she was just trying to make sure that I was like this person that, you know, goes to work and does what they're supposed to do. And because I wasn't doing that, and the fear in her rose up, because she realized, like, you know, the world is not going to like the fact that you are your own person. And that was scary to her, because she didn't know how do you lead somebody who has their own mind and isn't there to to be controlled by you, isn't there for you to project your idea of how things should go on to them. Like, how do you lead somebody like that? How do you raise somebody like that? That's hard. That's really hard. So I have never held anything against my mother. Never. I've always hoped and prayed that she would. I've never held anything against her, but I think what I was doing was hoping and praying that she would be me one day or see things my way one day. And that was the mistake that I was making. She's not going to see things my way, and that's on purpose. That's for a reason. That's why I chose her. So moving away was the correct decision, but no buts. Moving away was the correct decision, and I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with it because it's just more confirmation that I have to find my own way. I'm the trailblazer. I'm the one that is going to change the trajectory of the next generation. Things are going to be done completely different. Now when there's a child born into our family who wants to own their own business, for example, doesn't want to work for anybody, instead of beating them down, I'm gonna know how to guide them. I'm gonna know how to support them. And so I don't know how the conversation mental health, the next generation, isn't all the same thing? Anyway, guys, I think that's all that I want to say in this video. Some changes are coming up if you guys haven't noticed. I've taken some time to revamp, like the page, my pictures, I'm trying to think of like what the word for the stuff is. Like just my branding, there we go. Like my branding, for example, like, my banners and my pictures and like the intro and the outro to my videos, all of that stuff I took the time to revamp. So glad that I'm finally able to like use that training, and nowadays, like, you don't even need Photoshop with all of these like really great free programs out here that allow you, if you have like a basic understanding of this kind of stuff, even if you don't, like, this stuff is really user friendly. But anyway, guys, I don't want to go off into another tangent. Just know bigger, better things are coming. Yeah. Until next time, be well.